That's what we needed.
The
Talk to Moo.
old building managed to retain some of its original grandeur, but the modern additions looked like a baseball cap on a statue of a medieval saint.
What, you make it sound like it's a bad thing.
There was no sign of the crew of the ambulance.
Maybe we can get something from the ambulance.
I felt a little guilty as I tried the door, like I was about to rob a grave. I gripped the handle with an involuntary tremble in my hand and pulled. The door was locked.
And we can sigh from relief that we didn't need to steal anything from an ambulance.
The young man's face was full of eagerness and enthusiasm. I figured he was fresh from college. The woman managed to look overworked and hassled, though she didn't appear to be doing anything.
Well, she's typing on the computer. Probably typing nothing.
Excuse me.
Yes, sir?
You sound American.
Is this the Hagenmeyer Clinic?
That's correct.
I thought I was in a garden center.
Oh, the plants. They were my idea. A little greenery to evoke the spirit of nature.
Yeah, it
How
does.
may I help you?
It does liven up the place, I have to say.
Has Marquet had a visit from a pair of gangsters?
I should hope not. Can you describe them?
A thin guy who looks like a weasel and his friend, the gorilla.
Sounds as if they escaped from a zoo.
Maybe they did.
I'm here to see Jacques Marquet.
Oh, yes. Are you related to our client, sir?
No, I'm conducting a private investigation.
Then I can't help you.
Damn it.
Have you seen this man here at the clinic?
No, sir. And I never forget a face.
So, do I get to see Marquet before the funeral?
That attitude will get you nowhere. My instructions were quite clear. No one gets to see Marquet. So unless you can prove you're a relative or a close acquaintance, you're wasting your time here.
I wonder how we can prove that.
Look at this ID pass.
So you're Merlin. Marquet's been asking for you.
Hooray!
For me?
Yes. He was shouting your name when they brought him in here.
And also, what's with the volume with the microphone?
Now, let me see.
Jeez.
He was on Ward B12, as I recall. Oh, he's being transferred to... Oh, dear. He's on Ward J2.
That's...
Nurse Grendel's ward.
sounds bad?
What's so bad about Nurse Grendel?
She runs that ward like a South American prison.
Keeping a well-disciplined ward isn't a crime, is it?
Well disciplined. In the discipline and punishment stakes, she'd whip the butt off the Marquis de Sade.
Ooh.
Everything, I mean everything, is done to a strict routine. 6 o'clock alarm call, 6:10 bowel movements, and woe betide anyone who doesn't have a result. Those patients of hers are like Pavlova's dogs.
She sounds like a real nightmare.
And then some.
Has Marquet been visited by a man in a clown costume?
Oh, no.
You haven't seen a man in disguise?
Well, there's Theodore the Bear. He comes every Thursday to entertain the children. Personally, I think he scares them half to death in that crummy old bear suit. If I was stuck on my back with tubes in every orifice, he's the last person I'd want to see.
Usually mascots and other entertainers in suits are supposed to be a good thing, right?
If Nurse Grendel is that bad, how come the authorities tolerate her?
She's like part of the furniture.
Oh, you mean she's been here a long time?
No, I mean there's not a man in this clinic who hasn't sprawled out on her.
I was beginning to get the picture. This woman was jealous, with a big green capital J.
Definitely.
How do I find Nurse Grendel's ward?
Down the corridor on the left, turn right at the senior consultant's washroom. Right again at the executive coffee lounge. Bear left past the administrator's sauna. And turn left at the end. That's J2. And good luck.
Thanks. I guess I'm gonna need it.
Thanks for your help, ma'am.
You're welcome.
You may go back to typing on the computer. typing absolutely nothing, I guess.
The guy seemed to be practicing his air of authority. Today, he was working on his withering stare.
Hi, my name's George Stobart.
Really? If you wish to make an appointment, see the receptionist.
Do you recognize the man in this photograph?
No, sir, I do not.
Thanks for your help.
Not much of help because he didn't say anything important to us.
Hi, my name's George Stobart.
Pleased to meet you, sir.
Call me George if you like.
Are you sure?
Yeah, that's my name.
My name's Benoit, but everyone calls me Bunny.
Bunny?
That's right. I used to have this cute habit when I was a kid.
No-
Keep it to yourself, Benoit.
Yeah, no need to tell your life story to us, Bunny. Or Benny. At least if he was a heavier guy, he would be Chubby Bunny. I really am just stretching these jokes, aren't I?
Do you recognize the man in this photograph?
No, monsieur. I've never seen him before.
Do you know anything about a patient named Marquet?
And no, sir, I don't know much about any of the patients.
I've never met a doctor who admits that he's only human.
I'm only a trainee, sir. I'm sure I'll get the hang of things.
I'm sure you will get the angle scenes.
Do you know the nurse on Ward J2?
No, monsieur. This is my first day here.
Ah,
I can't wait to get my hands dirty. I was talking about treating my first patient, of course. I didn't mean I'd get my hands dirty with a nurse.
yeah, I hope so.
See you later.
Right.
Yeah, over-enthusiastic is the word today. La-di-da-di-da, ya-da-da-da-da. What is that grinding noise I keep hearing?
As I
Oh.
turned the corner, I saw the source of the hellish noise which echoed through the corridors. It was an industrial polishing machine with an odd-looking guy in tow. It was a classic example of functionalism, like an early Soviet spacecraft. I almost expected to see a dog or a monkey leap out.
That would be cool to see. Ah, great. Somebody messaging me over on Steam. So, let's see.
He looked blissfully happy, for no apparent reason.
What do you mean, no apparent reason? He is polishing the floor. Happily. God damn it, Jace! Even you... you did that just to be funny, didn't you?
Hello.
What's that?
I said hello.
Oh, hiya.
I'd like to talk to you for a minute.
That's what I thought you said. Don't look so down in the mouth. No matter how bad things seem, I never let life get on top of me.
Oh, yeah? What's your secret?
Why, it's easy. All you have to do is smile and whistle this little tune.
You know what? If you start whistling, I'll bust you in the teeth.
It's a deal.
Do you know a nurse called Grendel?
Sure I do.
Is she on duty today?
Yeah. End of the corridor, Ward J2.
Have you seen any unsavory characters lurking about in the corridors?
No, sir, I haven't. But I've got nothing to worry about. What's that, Mr. Shiny? You'd take good care of the rascals, I'll bet you would. With a friend like him, I've no fear of oppressors.
It must be a great comfort.
Definitely.
He is.
He seems very dangerous, too. I wouldn't want to get near him, Mr. Shiny.
Would Mr. Shiny be your polishing machine by any chance?
Please, don't call him that. He's more of a friend than a machine.
Well, maybe to
I've
you.
had Mr. Shiny for 3 years, and he's never let me down once.
how come you got so attached to a polishing machine?
Some people do.
I asked you not to call him that. He's got a name, you know.
Yeah, Mr. Shiny. It's just that...
You think it's odd, don't you?
No, I
don't mind. The rest of the staff think I'm twisted. I heard them snorking behind me back when I gave Mr. Shiny his weekly pull-through.
Pull-through?
Whatever you've got with this metal mop foot is probably a fine and noble thing.
Yeah, I'm sure.
It is. Say, it's not every day I meet someone as crazy as me.
Well, at least you're blissfully happy instead of derangedly crazed. So we gotta be happy about that.
Do you know where I'd find a patient called Marquet?
No, I'm not allowed on the wards with Mr. Shiny.
Do you recognize the man in this photograph?
Who is it?
That's what I'm asking you. Have you seen him before?
How should I know? You haven't told me who he is.
Take a look at the photo.
Yeah, okay.
Now, have you seen him before?
No.
There you go. That wasn't too hard, now was it? I hope I didn't break his brain with that question.
See you later.
Yeah, take care now.
Jace, you were hoping that it would make a bleep bloop too? I just turned off the sound effects on Steam just before you messaged me.
It was a life-sized marble figure of a guy in robes. The sculptor had tried to give him a look of paternal authority and concern. To my mind, he looked just plain constipated. There was no way I could improve on the sculpture with the janitor watching me. I guess the water cooler was for the use of people lost in the corridors.
Makes sense. People won't get thirsty walking around the corridors and know where they're going.
Maybe the face of the unaccountably happy domestic had made me unduly suspicious. I mean, I knew it was only my imagination, but the water tasted, well, peculiar.
Peculiar in what way? That it's medicinal water? Maybe they do have some disinfected water in there. It would make sense, it's a hospital after all, but if there's some, like, tranquilizer in it, that is just plain wrong.
The connector in the socket supplied electricity to the polishing machine. As I tugged the plug out of the socket, the polishing machine coughed, spluttered, and died.
Die, Mr. Shiny, die!
Mr. Shiny, what's wrong, pal?
Do we really need to see this before I can do anything? Really? Apparently so.
The door didn't have a sign or label or any kind of identification.
At least I got the jacket or coat that I needed.
Dr. Stobart at your service.
Or rather, Dr. Merlin. So is this the way I need to go? I think it is. To get to Marquet. Jacques Marquet. Nope. How about here? There we go. And there's Grendel.
Good afternoon, Doctor.
Oh, hi. Is this Ward J2?
Yes, sir. The patients are ready for your inspection, Doctor.
Thank you, nurse. Well, who's first?
Monsieur Croquet in bed 2.
What's his problem?
He's been complaining of loss of consciousness. You'll need this, Doctor.
A blood pressure machine.
She gave me a long, narrow metal box and a stunning smile. Thanks. Hi, I'm Dr. Stobart.
Hello, Doctor.
The nurse told me you keep losing consciousness.
That's right. I've had the problem as long as I can remember. It's a real out-of-body experience. Like death, but not so conclusive.
I see. How long does it last?
Just a fraction of a second, and then I recover.
I might not have been a doctor, but I was formulating a diagnosis all the same. This guy was nuts.
Or maybe it's...
I know exactly what you mean. It's known in the medical field as blinking.
Is it serious?
Of course it isn't serious. It's perfectly natural.
But just think, 2 seconds every minute. Why, that's almost half an hour every day.
Yep, that's how it
2
goes.
weeks out of every year spent in total darkness.
Well,
I don't have time to listen to this baloney.
it's a lot more because you do sleep also, and that is complete darkness as well. Could have been narcolepsy, epilepsy, even if it's only just a second.
Which bed is Marquet in?
He's round the corner, in solitary.
What's the matter with him?
I don't know, but the men who brought him in were wearing masks and rubber gloves. Hey, you're a doctor. How come you don't know?
We doctors don't know everything.
Then how come you act like you do?
Because I'm disguised as a doctor.
Do you recognize the man in this photograph?
Nah, Doctor. Who is it?
A cold-blooded killer.
One of your colleagues?
No, he really is a murderer.
I've never seen him before.
Has Marquet had any visitors?
Nah, neither have I. That's the worst thing about being in hospital. You feel like the rest of the world has abandoned you.
Well, you know how it is. Life goes on.
Thanks for those comforting words.
You're welcome. Oh, Jace, you bet it's lupus. What is this? An episode of House?
Do you know what this piece of equipment is called?
No, I don't.
Well, goodbye and good luck.
Thanks, Doc.
Maybe now I can go and check on Marquet? Marquet? ¿Por qué?
Doctor,
What is it?
you haven't taken my blood pressure.
I forgot about that guy.
Seems fine to me.
You're not doing it right.
Of course I am.
No, you're not. Dr. Monroe never did it like that.
I can't take a satisfactory reading while you're excited like this. I'll come back later.
Right. What about this last guy?
Now, I was no doctor, but this guy looked dead to me.
Well, you're kind of acting like a doctor right now. So maybe if we look closer. Okay.
The nurse was stunningly beautiful. The guys on this ward sure were lucky to be in her care.
Although the reception it did say that she is a real a general kind of a thing because she has a military schedule on how things work here. So yeah, beauty isn't always everything. The personality is what counts.
Pardon me, nurse.
Oui, monsieur?
Do you have any clowns on the ward?
Why, yes, we do. A professional clown.
I'll bet he lightens the place up.
Hardly. Monsieur Boissy has been in a coma for the last 3 months.
Ooh. So maybe that's the last guy over there.
What's wrong with Boissy?
He was involved in a very nasty accident. A silly stunt involving a unicycle. His current condition is due to post-traumatic shock. It's unlikely he'll ever perform as a clown again.
It's an ill wind that blows nobody any good.
I wonder what happened. He was on a unicycle, then something happened, and now he's been in a coma because of post-traumatic shock. Now there's a tale we need to know.
Do you recognize the man in this photograph?
No, I don't.
Do you have a patient named Marquet on this ward?
Oui, monsieur. He is in the private room at the end of the ward. He has been placed in strict isolation.
Why is Marquet in quarantine?
If you wish to know more, you'll have to speak to Herr Hagenmeier. All I know is that Marquet's room is strictly out of bounds.
Do you know who paid for Marquet's room?
No, of course I don't.
Preferential treatment like that must cost an arm and a leg.
That's not my concern, monsieur.
Maybe it was the government.
What is this device?
It's for taking the patient's blood pressure, doctor.
And you're not even the slightest bit suspicious that we're asking about it.
Thank you, nurse.
Au revoir, monsieur.
Now let's go find Dr. Hagen-Dazs. Oscar Mayer Wiener. The old dude. And see if we can get to Marquet's room. I'm going all the wrong places all the time. I hate this hospital. Why would anybody build a hospital like a freaking maze anyway?
Hey, Benoit!
There's no need to shout. What do you want?
What do you know about this piece of equipment?
It's a device for measuring blood pressure.
See you later.
Right.
Excuse me, sir.
You must be the new boy.
The other new boy.
Yeah, I must be.
Well, stop wandering about and make yourself useful. Bernie, come here, boy. This is Benoit, my nephew. Can I trust you to look after him?
Do your own babysitting, Gramps. Who do you think you are, anyhow?
I am Felix Hagenmeier.
And may I say what an honor it is to meet you in person, sir. You are on my medical wall of fame. Right up there with Pasteur and Leary. I look on it as a privilege, no, an honor, to look after your nephew, sir.
He is fresh out of medical school. It will open his eyes to see a real doctor on the job.
I'll bet.
Show him around. Let him see some real suffering.
Sure.
So long, Hagenmeier.
Yeah, like I said, Hagen-Dazs. Or Oscar Mayer Wiener. Or Hagenmeier. So maybe we can now make Bonnie do the blood pressure thing.
Could you take a look at the client in bed number 3 now? His name is Eric Sopmarsh.
What's his problem?
He's a
He's
douchebag.
delirious. He just now came out of theater. He's recovering from major surgery.
I'll have him up and about before you can say, Lazarus, get out of your bed and walk.
He's also an old grumpy
Hello?
man.
Anybody home?
Who are you?
My name is Dr. Stobart, and I'm here to steer you down the rocky road to recovery.
Dr. Monroe said there was no cure for what I've got.
Your problem is you stayed in bed too long.
Are you sure you're a qualified doctor?
Nope.
You better believe it. What can you tell me about Marquet?
He's the man in the private room, isn't he? That room was mine before I was tossed out like a common squatter.
I knew he was a snob.
Do you know what's wrong with Marquet?
They won't even say what's wrong with me. Tell me, Doctor, what's your opinion?
It's too early to say.
But I've been here for 3 months.
I would say delusions of grandeur.
What's your impression of Nurse Grendel?
She's a very efficient young woman.
Efficient? You make her sound like a vacuum cleaner.
I've no complaints.
Oh, she sucks really well, huh? If you know what I mean.
The woman in reception described Nurse Grendel as a monster.
Well, that's simply not true. She's quite strict, but that's her job, isn't it? You've got to have discipline in a place like this.
I guess you do.
See you later. Hey, Benoit.
There's no need to shout. What do you want?
I want you to take his blood pressure.
Here, take this pressure gauge.
Thank you, sir. What do you want me to do with it?
Well, keep it safe until I think of something. Follow me, Benoit.
I'm right behind you, sir.
Hi, it's me again.
Yes. Damn it.
See you later.
I guess talking is not enough. We just need to walk over here. And he's gonna call us for... Yeah.
Oh, Doctor,
What now?
you didn't finish taking my blood pressure.
Yo, Benoit. Start doing your job.
You don't have the first idea what you're doing, do you?
I'll come back when you've recovered your manners. Hey, Benoit.
There's no need to shout.
Yes, sir.
Are you ready with that pressure gauge?
Primed and ready to pump, sir. What do you want me to do with it?
Use it on Eric Sopmarsh.
Okay.
It was a life-sized marble figure of a guy in robes.
Well,
The sculptor had tried to give him a look of paternal authority and concern. To my mind, he looked just plain constipated.
well, there's two people on that statue, not just one guy.
He sat like a statue of a sack of potatoes, but the cop's eyes were as watchful as a hawk's.
Why is it every goddamn police officer in this town, in this city, is an old man? I mean, we haven't seen any young police officers here at all.
I'm Dr. Stobart.
Bonjour, docteur.
Have you seen any suspicious characters on the ward?
Yeah, I have.
A gorilla and a weasel?
No, this was a tatty old bear.
How is the bear acting suspiciously?
Well, he was wearing a homburg.
Is that against the law?
No, but it's pretty weird for a bear.
Don't you think it's possible that the bear was a man in disguise?
Well, obviously, I'm not completely stupid.
Well,
but
not
who would
completely.
go to the bother of disguising himself as a bear?
I
It's
know.
not as if he'd blend in with the surroundings.
I know one guy.
I checked with base to see if any bears had been reported missing from the zoo or a traveling circus. They told me to sit tight until reinforcements arrive. I guess they're right. I'd be stupid to tackle a bear single-handed.
True.
Have you heard of a guy called Marquet?
He's in quarantine, Doc, right behind this here door.
Marquet is just the man I wanted to see.
I wouldn't go in there if I was you.
Why not?
He has anthrax.
Anthrax. Quite the efficient way of killing somebody.
I have to visit my patient.
What for?
Routine. I have to check he's still breathing.
What if he's not?
I'll sign the certificate and register his bed as vacant.
That's a cold and distant attitude to death.
Well, I've been institutionalized to the point of godlike aloofness.
The white coat suits you.
Thanks.
Thanks. Catch you later, officer.
Au revoir, Doc. If you see that bear, kick him in the nuts.
I'll keep that in mind.
Rather you than me, pal.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Now you just sit tight there. We'll talk to Marquet. That doesn't look like anthrax.
Okay?
Yes. I am Marquet. I've been expecting you.
You have?
Well, what are you waiting for? Get it over with.
Kind of funny.
I just want to know what I should do with the gem.
The Lamar gem.
Yeah, right here in my pocket.
I thought you were one of the assassins.
Not me. I never inhaled.
So, you were sent in my place?
Yeah. You could hardly make the trip to Ireland in your condition. What should I do with the gem?
Do tell.
Deliver it to the Grandmaster quickly.
Grandmaster?
Tell him that I have found the tripod right here in Paris.
Yeah, we know.
You have it?
Not yet, but it's being taken care of. I hired a couple of stooges with a flair for petty crime.
Let me
Would
guess.
that be Flap and Guido by any chance?
Definitely.
Know them?
We've met them.
We've met. What about the Hashashin?
Is more likely to have followed Klausner.
Klausner?
He'll stop at nothing to prevent the reforging of the sword.
The sword?
And that's bad, is it?
As for Klausner, he has gone off to Syria on a wild goose chase.
They have geese in Syria?
He has a theory about the location of the...
Of the what?
That's enough excitement for one day, Monsieur Marquet. What are you doing here?
Talking to this patient, of course.
Monsieur Marquet is my patient. If Herr Hagenmeyer was to hear that...
Okay, I'm going. I'd learned all I could from Marquet anyhow.
The sword? He must not be talking about Daikatana? Hopefully not.
Ah, there you are, sir. I was just coming to look for you. I finished with your pressure gauge.
Thanks.
Thanks, Bunny.
What's that noise? It sounds as if someone's having a cardiac arrest.
That was Khan.
It's all right. The doctor's in there with him.
No, it's Khan. Not the doctor. That's Khan. Get in there. Marquet is being killed.
Are you sure he was a doctor?
Oui, monsieur. He showed me his ID. It was Dr. Braille.
There's no Dr. Braille working here.
He's an imposter. The door's locked. Help me, officer.
We're too late. On!
Stand back, monsieur.
That doesn't really work. Shooting a lock. It doesn't really work. Didn't Mythbusters prove that? Well, Marquet's dead, but at least we got all the information we could out of him. And it was good information, too. Back in Nico's apartment. Appartement.
I found Jacques Marquet.
Did he talk?
Yeah, he talked. For the very last time.
He's dead.
Yeah. Killed in cold blood by a bogus doctor.
That's despicable. What kind of guy would pass himself off as a doctor and take advantage of a dying man? Was it Khan?
No, I don't know who he was, but it certainly wasn't Khan. He got away, out the window.
It kind of seemed like Khan, but when I think about it, it wasn't Khan. It was somebody else. And he said Herr Hagemeyer. So he was more like the German guy. There might be more Hashashin around here than we thought.
Have you ever heard of the Hashiashin?
No.
Marquet said that they were his biggest enemy.
Hashiashin.
His biggest enemy was the bogus doctor.
Don't remind me. That guy was evil. He had wild, staring eyes like a dead fish. I'll never trust a doctor again.
It was my lamp? That damn lamp exploded. Killed a lot of people. Damn.
Do you think the assassin was responsible for killing Marquet?
I don't think so. He could have finished him off the first time.
True.
Besides, Marquet would have recognized him.
He was pumped to the gills with sedatives. He wouldn't have recognized the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse unless they'd introduced themselves. Let's take another look at the manuscript. That's the tripod in the crew museum. The Night Scroll bears a phrase in Latin. Through my...
Well, nothing to talk to her about.
Can you think of any use for this?
That's a thing for measuring blood pressure, isn't it?
Yes.
What are you doing with that?
I picked it up in the hospital. It could be useful.
You ought to take it back. Don't you feel guilty?
No.
Lots of people have blood pressure measuring equipment at home. It's a common thing.
I guess I'd better go back and talk to that weirdo.
Which one? Rousseau or Sergeant Moore? Oh, but you're referring to Andre.
Andre.
I'll let you work it out.
We were definitely talking about Andre. Because he is a weirdo. Andre the Weirdo. Not Andre the Giant. Andre the Giant was French. At least that's what I remember.
What kind of mysteries will George find in the next episode of Broken Sword?